If it hurts, you ain't afraid, smoke against you, don't let up, put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, sides, through the game, tap, this win it. First you again, we're for the first minute. Carry block, you never 6 minutes.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Unbelievable place. Great university. Knoxville's unbelievable city, great people. The passion for football is even greater than I thought it would be. And man, Neyland Stadium, I said it, a couple of years ago, and I still think it's the best football experience for a college football fan or a player in the country.
The culture that Hype and everyone has created in this building, it's been phenomenal on teams, and we're only going to continue to be better. And the standard around here, I've said it before, I'll say it again, standards to be the damn best. And we're never stopping.
Just making sure that the little things are taken care of, like getting our cleats in the dirt and just playing.
What we have to do is make sure that we got our cleats in the ground before the ball is snapped. I think that's the key to the game, and make sure that
just get our cleats in the ground, execute calls, the urgency of communicating and getting lined up.
Yeah, you got to get your cleats in the ground and you got to go play.
And you have to not lose the game before you can ever win the game.
Do you remember when we fell in love? I remember, don't worry. Do you remember? I remember how it all began. How could I ever forget? It's the first time. Do you remember? I can feel it. I can feel it. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. I can feel it. I can feel it, I can feel it, it's coming in the air. Remember the time we fell in love. You remember the time. How could I ever forget? You remember the time we fell in love. You remember the time. How could I ever forget? Coming in the air tonight.
Okay, so here's the deal. I'm not even giving us a chance to screw this up. There is no way. The guy below me has not been here in 17 months. There's no way that he could possibly get the intro correct. But let's try it. Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley.
I'm Dauber.
I'm Vols JP.
It's X Factor here.
Oh, man, it's like old times. It's like old times. Going to be a fun one, boys. JP's in the house. Been harassing him for about 6 months to get on the channel. He's finally back. We're going to talk some Tennessee football. It's a glorified scrimmage this week, X. What do you think about that? I've been getting harassed by boomers on Facebook all day for calling this a glorified scrimmage. That's what we're facing this week.
It must be a big case of battle for ball syndrome, because I'm right there with you, Boog. Yeah, I'm really not worried about this game. Like me and my buddy were just talking, last Saturday, is that he said, man, I might not even watch the game. He's like, I'll just, watch the score. So, and I told him, I said, yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm still probably going to watch the game, but yeah, no, I'm right there
probably,
with you.
X, you got to do a post-game show immediately after. Probably.
I mean,
sounds like
look,
Snake.
But,
yeah, what's happening?
Nah,
I read the highlights. I know what happened.
Oh, yeah. Nah, like
That's
I said,
Snake right there.
It's going to be a scrimmage game. Like I said, look, they're going to blow them out. I'm not going to give my prediction yet, but they're going to blow them out, so trust me.
Hey, JP, what do the words Georgia State mean to you?
Yeah, I really. Probably one of the worst Tennessee days of my life for sure. But no, I don't think that's going to happen Saturday for sure.
No,
But
God, I hope
you
not.
know,
I hope
no,
not.
no, I don't think that Austin Peay is capable of doing that. But we got to come out and take care of business. I mean, that's the thing, and that's been the great thing about Heupel since he's been down there, is these teams like this. He's not really messed around with them. So, we fully expect him to put some points up on the board and hopefully get some of these younger fellas some playing time.
I meant to say that Saturday in the post game. Talking about the win over Virginia, and going back to last year and even Hype's first year. They've taken care of business and beat the teams they're supposed to beat. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing. I don't think this coaching staff is going to allow this team to not come into a game day unprepared, and they're not going to overlook an opponent, even an opponent, the lowly Austin Peay Governors. Is that what they are?
Yeah, I found that out in the chat about 10 minutes ago.
So
look, this thing is so bad that Vegas isn't even putting out a spread for it. There's not a spread because it's that bad. It's a glorified scrimmage. Tennessee's going to take care of business. The big thing is Josh Heupel is not Jeremy Pruitt, but we're going to get into that a little bit later. We will briefly touch on Austin Peay, and by Austin Peay, I mean we're going to talk about what we want to see Tennessee do to them. We got some injury news that dropped today. We'll get into that. We got some quotes from Tony Elliott talking about this football team. Lots of fun stuff to get into, but let's run down the chat. Let's see who's hanging out. Patrick Counts was here bright and early, says Nico for Heisman next year. Spoiler alert, let's not bury the lead. I want to see a whole lot of Nico coming up on Saturday. Kaylin's in the house, says, good evening, people of Vol Nation. Joey Carroll is here. What is up, everyone? Hope all is well. GBO. Who else we got? Angry Titan is here, says, Boogie, drop the needle. It's time to go. He says, drop the hammer. We were waiting on JP to show up. He was going to be a little late. Figured it would be better just to wait for him to get in here. Bob King is here, says, good evening, Vol Nation. Jackson is here. Who else we got? Knoxville Predator Catchers in the house. Papa J is here. Let's jam through some super chats. You guys being generous right out of the gate. Pit Boss for $10. Dorfy, loving all the content. GBO, it has been a busy day. Recorded a video this morning. Recorded Locked On Vols, going to be posted over there with Kaner tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that bright and early. Also had a fun stream of Sports Talk J and BVD at noon, lunchtime live. That was a fun show. Chase Tidwell for $1. Appreciate that. A tip in the tip jar. We got Papa J in the house for $5. Let's kick some governor's butts this Saturday. Hate Georgia, beat Georgia. That's when I learned that Austin Peay's the governor's dauber. Was right there from that super chat. Knoxville Predator Catcher for $5. Love the dad jokes. What kind of cars do sheep drive? Lamborghinis. Thank you, Knoxville Predator Catcher, for the humor. We appreciate it. Kalen for $2. I can only afford a $2 entry fee tonight. Well, I guess Kalen can stay for half the show, and then you're going to have to bail because you didn't pay for the back half. But we will allow you to stay for now. Jason for $5. Appreciate that. Dorfy, have to say good luck to what? APSU, Austin Peay. Are they State University? What is happening here, Jason? They're going to need it. Thank you for the super chat. I don't even know. Why do I never know what's going on? Like, I don't know what people are talking about 95% of the time. Volunteered 77 for $5. Dorfy GBO. Appreciate that, brother. Max the Cool 123 for $5, says Dorfy. Appreciate you guys not sneaking in the back door. A little spooky for $2. JP, what is this? A Q&A? What is your favorite NBA team?
Since Jordan retired, I don't have one. If they're asking me.
Well, you are JP, right?
Well, but then it says X.
I about to say, well,
no, he's okay. You're right. He's saying JP. He doesn't care what you think, JP. X, who is your favorite basketball team?
Man, I really don't have a favorite team, but like I said, I follow a lot of the players. I'm just a big fan of just the sports itself. So really, I'm just the players. So play
what
fans.
What kind of answer is that? That sounds like a guy
Butch
that plays
Jones.
Fantasy sports. Yep. That will never get old. I think his favorite basketball team is probably But you got me on that one, Dauber. I can't focus and recenter. Butch Jones definitely X's favorite basketball team. Mike Jones for 5, appreciate that. Dorfy GBO, appreciate it, brother. Decepticon Soundwave, what a great name, man. Love me some Soundwave. Georgia superior, Tennessee inferior. I'll take your $2. I appreciate that. I appreciate your $2 to tell us how good Georgia is. And since you donated your hard-earned money to tell us that Georgia is superior, I've got something that I want to play just for you and only you. I mean, I complimented your, profile picture, but I don't believe there are good people that pull for Georgia. I think they're all terrible, ugly, disgusting human beings. I think it's just that no, there are no good Georgia fans, Eric. There are none. Thank you for the $2. I hope you enjoyed that clip. Sammy P's in the house, and then he was gone. Thank you for the $2. Exit Dorfy, off to work. GBO, hope to catch up with you soon. Sammy P. Crawdad Watson for 2. Let's talk about Halsley. How good will he be? We can talk about that. What do you think, Dauber? Joey Halsley comes in. I like the coaching tree, right? That's what you want, is for your position coaches, your coordinators to get head coaching jobs and bring somebody else in. Halsley's the next one in waiting. Yeah, next man in line. Familiarity with Heupel, familiarity in the system. He did a lot with Hooker, developed him a lot as QB coach. So, I've liked what I've seen so far. The thing I said, I think this offense is particularly geared for Milton. It's set up for Milton and his skill set. So, I think they're going to, ride the strengths of those skilled position guys and, keep scheming up ways to get people open and exploit the defense. Here's another super chat, $5 from Lee Minnick. I want to know, who do we want to win, Bama or Texas? Thinking short and long term, and what are we looking for in that in particular in that game? JP, I will let you answer this because I know the answer.
Yeah, I mean, hook 'em horns. If Bama never wins another football game again, you won't see me crying for sure. So I'll never pull for them. So hook 'em horns this weekend.
I think Alabama wins that game, though. They're favored. Yeah. They're favored by a touchdown. What do y'all think about Jalen Milroe? I think I'm scared of him. I honestly am scared of him.
I mean, he's gonna beat us. That's the thing. You got to try to stop him. He's gonna make plays with his feet. Now, as far as like his throwing ability, I don't know. Like I gotta see more until I just fear him.
Yeah, I mean, yes, he came on there, against Middle Tennessee, and from what I saw, I didn't watch a whole lot of it, but I did see him that he did throw some touchdown passes and stuff. But let's see him against a top quality SEC defense. It's bringing some pressure and showing different looks and being able to disguise things, and then let's see. I mean, it's week 1. It's it's just like all this hype about Colorado. I mean, it's week 1, I mean, anything can happen. So it's just way too early to tell.
Here's a $2.
I will say, sorry, Boogie.
No, go ahead.
I will say that I think that it's obvious that Saban and Bama have some concerns, because that's all that you heard all fall camp was how that there was a quarterback, that Bama didn't really have a quarterback, and that they didn't know who the starter was going to be, and so forth like that, unless they were just playing coy with it. So,
yeah, spoiler alert for Locked On Vols tomorrow. That's what I was talking the same thing, because Milroe just scares me, man. And G. White in the chat right there says this guy isn't Bryce Young. I was scared when Bryce is Dauber a Jalen Milroe fan? Did that comment offend Dauber so he left? Because we were having this same conversation for the Locked On Vols episode tomorrow, and Kaner brought up the same point that you just brought up. There was a quarterback competition for a reason, so clearly Saban's got some concerns about that quarterback position. Here's a $2 super chat. X, can you read this one for me? AGR 270 for 2. Appreciate that.
See, I'm an APSU grad. Let's go Peay. Show me your payness.
I can't believe that was read so cluelessly. Thank you, X, for reading that super chat. Crawdad Watson for 5. How long does this staff blow our minds with good play calling? I think Heupel's an offensive genius, and we are going to see him continue to scheme guys up. It's only going to get worse once Tennessee gets more athletes in the building. James Lawson for 2. Appreciate that super chat just to say, yep, F Bama. I'm sure JP appreciates that super chat too. Everybody in the chat's dying at X reading off that super chat. That is absolutely hilarious. All right, we're going to talk all kinds of fun stuff, but I want to kind of pick JP's brain. We're going to kind of jump in and have a conversation because he's not been here in a minute. So, JP, what are your thoughts throughout fall camp? What this football team is going into year 3 of Josh Heupel? We'll get into the Virginia game in just a little bit, but what excites you about this football team? We can get into predictions, expectations, what you think we're going to see in year 3 of the Heupel era.
Oh, I lost you there.
Oh,
you there?
To repeat all that? I got to repeat every bit of
no,
that.
No, my screen just went blank, but it's back up. Honestly, what excites me about this year and through fall camp was the defense. I think that's where this football team can take the biggest step forward, and I think that we saw glimpses of that Saturday. It's so important to be able to get pressure on the quarterback. Changes just the whole dynamics of the defense, and Pierce and Barron, them getting pressure, and I went back and watched some of the highlights of the game last Saturday, and I mean we were getting tons of pressure right up the middle too with Lott and Thomas as well. So to me that is the biggest thing, because I do feel like that this offense is not going to be as good. I hope that I'm proved wrong on that, and I hope that we average 47 points a game this year, but I just don't see it happening. But if we can have that defense take that next step, then can Tennessee find a way to continue to win and beat the Bamas and be a contender, but maybe that they're just doing it with more defense this year. So that was the encouraging thing from Saturday that I saw on there too. Was I just liked how that I think that the defense looked faster. I think that they were flying to the football. I was really impressed with a lot of the open field tackling. What they continued to make plays in the backfield. We done that good last year. We just couldn't get consistent pressure on the quarterback without blitzing.
Yeah, and I think something I've been talking a lot about is if the defense is better. I mean, you're talking, and then also Tennessee ran the football for almost 300 yards against Virginia, and Virginia's front seven was legit. Like I'm not.
That's all we heard about.
Right. That was the concern. That was the concern was their front seven, and then on the flip side, it was Tennessee's offensive line's not good enough. They're Cooper Mays is out. We don't have a left guard. Tennessee went out and took care of business running the football, and if you can run the football. And your defense takes a step. Joe Milton doesn't have to be a Heisman Trophy candidate for this football team to have success, Dauber.
No.
Right. They also kept Milton clean. 1 sack is all they gave up. So, it is, but it's supposed to be the highest one. It's actually my computer. It did the same thing it did in the tailgate show. So I'm not sure what's going on. I may have to take it somewhere and get it looked at. But anyway, I think going into the game, it was the offensive line that was kind of a big question. And you're right, rushing for over 300 and keeping Milton clean. That bodes well against an ACC front defensive line that returned quite a few guys, and that was their strong suit coming into the game. So hopefully that only gets better when Cooper returns.
Yeah, hopefully, like I said, we'll see a lot of that cleaned up in the Austin Peay game. But yeah. Because really special teams was my concern too on the offensive end, because like I said, just those punting them out, what I'm saying, there wasn't really good punts. And then also too, the punter was holding the ball and he's doing the rugby style punt. Wasn't really a big fan of that. But and of course, D Williams that he coughed up one, but I'm sure he'll be fine. He'll clean it up, next game. But overall, the performance, I mean, yeah, I mean, like I said, we played really solid against Virginia. I just really hope that, like I said, we can clean up, tune up a couple things here and there. But yeah, I'm not really worried at all.
JP, if you had come on the channel, let's say 3 weeks ago for a Wednesday show, and we're talking season expectations, we're talking season predictions. What do you think this football team? What's your prediction going into the season? Not now after you've seen week one. We'll kind of get into that in just a second. But what were your predictions?
I was thinking 9-3 with the possibility of a 10-2 season again. I just felt like that. That the offense, I mean, when you think about having to replace a top 10 draft pick and Darnell Wright at tackle and have to replace Carvin, who had started down there for four years or so,
not enough people talk about him.
That is a lot to ask for. I mean, that is a lot. Plus, I mean, I know that we talk about the wide receivers and, in this system, and there's not concern there, but then you also have to replace, two top draft picks as far as third rounders on that side. And then the big thing is you got to replace Hendon Hooker with a quarterback who has all the potential and all the talent in the world. It's not that. But the fact of the matter is it's a fifth-year senior that has lost a starting position twice. So, I mean, it don't matter how that you spin it, that there is concerns there with that. So, starting out 9-3 with the possibility of a 10-2 season, if everything goes right and the defense improves like, that we expect and hope it does with that. So that's where I was at as far as preseason expectations.
Let me hit some super chats here, and then I want to come back and talk about some stuff with the expectations. Wayne Stars for 5. Appreciate that, Wayne. Milroe, in my opinion, is an NFL running back playing quarterback at Bama. That's what scares me, though, is his legs. Like X said, you got to find a way to stop the plays that he's going to make with his feet. Now, the counterpoint to that is if you back them up and they have to throw the football, is Milroe going to be good enough to do that? That's what we'll have to wait and see. Bob King's been a member for 2 months, man. I appreciate that support. Brand new member to the channel. The only good fan is a Vol fan, GBO. On top of that, Joe Vols becomes a member of the channel. Guys, we're on a membership drive. We need more members on this channel. You can give $1 a month. You got $1. You got $1 in your pocket. You like the videos, the live streams, the community, whatever it is you like about this channel. You want to contribute to that, hit the join button down below. $1. You want to be a part of the fan call-in shows. We're doing them every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. We're also doing a tailgate show an hour before kick every week. I don't care if they're playing, Southeast Tennessee School of the Blind. We are going to do a tailgate show because you guys get a voice here. For the fans, by the fans means something, but you can be a part of that by joining the channel. The more you give, the quicker you get on the show. But shout out Joe Vols. Appreciate you for joining the channel, my friend. Angry Titan for 2. X, you want to read this one for me?
X, can you page Anita Cox for me?
Y'all are awful. Y'all are awful in the chat. Y'all always coming at X now. He ain't got no shot. Speaking of shots, shot by Andrew for 2. What's up, guys? Ready to beat the poop emoji out of Florida. Appreciate the $2 super chat. Crawdad Watson for 2. The defense will be as good as the offense. That's when this team gets nasty. I've said it over and over and over. I love the fact that Heupel's like, forget this defense needs to be efficient. This defense is going to be elite. That's when you kind of turn the page because we know Josh Heupel's going to score points. Nicholas for 5. Shout out to X for showing his love for paying us. When we beat Florida, I think it's because of tempo and the run can't be stopped. We're going to come back to that, Nicholas, here in just a second. We're going to talk about Florida. Dustin Sellers for $20. $20 is not cheap. Nice to see the full crew. Love to see a big rotation on both sides starting in the third. Need to be as healthy as possible for Florida. Go Big Orange. We're going to talk about the Austin Peay game coming up in just a little bit, Dustin, but I agree with that. We need a whole lot of young guys getting out there, getting some experience. Crawdad Watson, been a member of this channel for 15 months. Appreciate that, brother. That is a lot of support. So I appreciate the way you ride or die with the Talkin VAWLS Network. JP, you said 9-3, maybe 10-2. Let's talk about being overreactions, right? We see one game. Like you said it earlier, it's week one. Everybody calm down. Just calm down. But that's what we as fans do. We overreact to 1 week of football. You saw it last year with Georgia, right? They struggled several times, and everybody's like, oh, Georgia sucks. And I'm like, nope. No, they don't. Georgia's still going to be Georgia. Florida, week 1, sacked 5 times. They had 13 yards rushing. I think the Florida game is so pivotal. If Tennessee's going to go win 10 games, they got to beat Florida in the Swamp. How are you encouraged by that? Seeing how Tennessee had success on the defensive line, they had success against the run, which is no surprise with Rodney Garner. I'm more encouraged about them getting home with 4 than I am really their run defense. But how much do you like the matchup? You know, Trevor Etienne averaged 3.5 yards a carry. Montreal Johnson had 3 carries for 6 yards. Trayon Webb, 1 carry for 3 yards. Their running backs were not very good. Do you like the matchup a little bit more? How does that factor into your predictions before and after week 1?
I thought going into the season, I thought that Florida would probably struggle. I just don't think that they've got the talent that they previously have had. I watched most of that game there last week, and gosh, I mean, I know that Utah has been a pretty consistent team, and you know it's a tough place to play and so forth like that. But I just didn't think Florida looked very athletic, I guess, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So it's been 20 years. I mean, and if we don't beat them down there in 10 days or how much ever longer it is, I don't know if we ever will, because I mean, it's set up. I mean, Tennessee is the better football team. They have better talent. They've got more experience. There's no excuse to go to the Swamp and lose next Saturday. But again, I mean, we all have watched it. And
how many times has that been the case, though, JP?
We have watched it over and over and over again.
There and
saw
in Neyland.
Boys.
That we have found a way to lose that game in all sorts of manners. So,
but listen, we have a
I would never
coach now.
bet on it. I can assure you that I would never put money on it next Saturday, because it would not shock me at all to see us go down there and lay an egg for sure.
But JP, remember, we got a coach now that does
Oh,
not
I
have
know.
battered ball syndrome like
Yeah.
us fans do.
No, I
Listen,
get it.
Josh
I get it.
Heupel's going to go down to the Swamp, beat the brakes off the Gators, and listen, we're going to change history again, just like how it was with Alabama when they came to our house. We ended that 15-year streak. We're going to end that streak down in the Swamp. I promise you.
Yeah.
Dauber, are you worried about it being a 7 p.m. kick in the Swamp? They're going to be drunk. They already want to fire Billy Napier. They're going to be irate. They're going to be hostile. It's going to be a wild environment for this football team to go out and play in the Swamp. That everything for me hinges on that Florida game.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you go on the road anywhere in conference, and it's going to be loud. It's going to be hostile, and that's if it's a 12 p.m. kick, if it's a 3:30 kick, if it's a 7 o'clock kick. You know, they'll. You know, that's just a couple more hours to tailgate and get lubed up to scream and yell. So the thing is, and I think X hit it, you know, this coaching staff, these guys down there, it's a culture change. It's a mentality change. Mm-hmm. This team has learned how to win games. And I don't think that they're going into a game counting themselves out. I mean, I hate to even say it, but
oh God, here we go.
I'll bring up X's favorite person, and that little clip he played at the beginning of the show there in the intro.
And you have to not lose the game before you can ever win the game.
What an idiot, man.
I was like, why would you like what? Why would he even say something like that?
Because it's Butch. Oh my gosh, Dauber had a point. Now he's locked up like with a permagrin. Look at him; he's just like cheesing.
He's got Butch Jones' internet's what he's got.
He looks like a criminal that they're blurring out his face.
Blurred out his face.
Yeah, they're like, we can't show you this man. It's man, we got come on, we got to get Dauber a new laptop or something, man. It is like Brad said in the chat. It's like me back in the NCAA days.
Austin gonna have to hardwire it, isn't he?
I don't know. I don't think it's his internet. Like, if you have a laptop more than 2 years, it's going to be hot garbage. I bet that's what's happening. Austin Murray's been a member for 9 months. He's about to give birth. Appreciate the support. I see Georgia is taking a massive step back. Opinions? I don't know, man. Georgia's Georgia.
Again,
It's like Alabama,
that's an
5-star
overreaction.
Yep.
Look, ESPN's already predicting they're going to win it. Like they're going to do a three-peat. Possible, yes, but I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, I will say that obviously the quarterback play is extremely important, and who knows if Carson Beck will, improve as the season goes on. But if they continue to have quarterback struggles, then yes, I mean I could see Georgia possibly losing a game or two this year. But again, it's too early to say because there's no doubt about it that talent or that roster is loaded with talent. I mean, loaded with talent. You just go back and you look at the recruiting classes that, whatever his head, whatever kind of hairdo he's got,
It's a bowl cut,
I mean,
bro. It's a
bowl
bowl
cut,
cut.
yeah, whatever kind of hairdo Kirby Smart's got, there's no denying that he's been able to stack talent. So,
But you know what's funny to me? Like it just hit like people, and you just said it. Poor quarterback play. Will their quarterback play get better? Carson Beck was 21 of 31 for 300 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, he struggled mightily in the first half.
He struggled.
But when you look at statistically, that's not that bad of numbers. It's kind of like Joe Milton. It's kind of like Joe Milton. But it's to me, it's not about Carson Beck. They freaking won back-to-back natties with a walk-on because they have so much talent around them. And that's why like it drives me nuts to hear people talk about, Kirby Smart schemed up Josh Heupel. No, he didn't. Switch those rosters. What do you think the freaking score is? I tell you what, it's way worse. It is way worse if you just switch those rosters. I got to get caught up on Super Chats. Adam Cook for 2. Appreciate that, brother. Trying not to overreact to Peay being out. We're going to get into that in just a second. Adam, thank you for the $2 Super Chat. Joe Brown for 2. How many quarters do we play starters before backups? We'll get into that a little bit later, too. I hope the backups are in by halftime. Brent, my favorite, Burnett for $5. Appreciate that. Says door fee. Thank you for the entry fee, my man. Scott Chapman becomes a member of the channel. Appreciate that support. Look, guys, we got 22,000 subscribers on this channel. We need strength in numbers. Hit that join button down below. $1. Just commit to giving $1 a month. We would greatly appreciate that support. Thank you, Scott, for that support. Nicholas for $5. You have to learn how to. You have to learn how to swallow. I thought this was going down a bad road, but not really. You have to learn how to swallow before you drink. Butch Jones, man, he is so full of one-liners. Oh, my gosh. That was for Elijah, and Elijah's not even in the chat to see me playing that clip. Ryan for $20. That is not cheap. Ryan, we appreciate that support, brother. Dorothy, my guy, let's get that 5 up to 20. Just saying, go Vols. Ryan says $5 door fees aren't enough. $5 door fees are not enough. We got to raise the bar. We got to strain and compete every day, in the words of Josh Heupel. Let me update the leaderboard. Ryan's the biggest super chat of the night. Appreciate that, brother. Hey, you don't have to give 20. You can give $1. You can give $2. I appreciate every single super chat that comes in. So thank you for that. All right, let's move forward. Look, we did 35 minutes. I wanted to pick JP's brain, have a fun conversation because he's not been on the channel in a while. But let's talk about the recent news, and that is this right here. Came out earlier today. Breaking news. Tennessee linebacker Keenan Peay to miss multiple weeks due to injury, according to VolQuest. Man, like this was legitimate breaking news. Right after me and Kaner finished up Locked On Vols, he got a text message, and it wasn't even a media guy. It was just a random fan texted him and said, "Hey, I've heard Keenan Peay's out for multiple weeks. What do you know?" And he's like, "He's not hurt. He ain't hurt." I'm like, "I've not heard that." And then within a matter of hours, the news breaks. Keenan Peay out. I see a lot of people in the chat. I see a lot of people on Twitter, a lot of people on Facebook that immediately mention Arian Carter. Oh, Arian Carter, the stud linebacker, is just going to step right in. That's not necessarily the case. The quote from Heupel: "We weren't sure early in the week of the severity of the injury. He will not be available this week. He'll miss a couple of weeks here. Don't believe it's season ending at this point. We'll see how it continues to heal up in the coming days and weeks." Arian Carter is not the backup to Keenan Peay. He is the backup to Aaron Beasley. We saw it in the Virginia game, Dauber. We saw a lot of Elijah Herring. He led this football team in tackles last week. Arian Carter didn't really get on the field. Aaron Beasley's kind of your leader. He's the guy that gets the plays called, gets everybody lined up. He's the leader on defense. I think you're going to see a lot of Elijah Herring on Saturday. If you look at the depth chart, it shows Herring as Peay's backup and then Jeremiah Thielander as the third stringer. So what do you think about that? I don't think we're going to see a lot of Arian Carter. I think it's going to be Elijah Herring out there.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be Herring that steps up and takes most of the reps. But this is an opportunity for guys like T-Lander and Arian Carter to step in and also, kind of fill that void that, you lose with Peay going down. It could be one of those things. They start playing with the hot hand. One of these guys comes in and just absolutely balls out. And, there's so much talent. We touched on it last week, I think in the pregame, in the tailgate show. Honestly, just both sides of the ball, how much talent and depth that this team has now, and the guys that they're developing. So that's a really, really, really good problem to have. I think going into the season that the linebacking group was something that we had some questions, but we felt pretty confident in the guys that were there. Especially with the talent of the younger guys. And listen, it's just an opportunity. It's an opportunity for other guys to step up.
Everybody in the chat's going nuts saying it is time for a pat down. Ryan wants a pat down. We got a new gimmick around here. When you drop a hundo, Ryan dropping $101. That's because Stevie J donated 100. He was the leader for the month. Ryan says Stevie gave 100. I'm giving 101. I want to be on that leaderboard. Let's go, Boogie. By God, Bentley. We got a new rule around here. You drop a hundo, we're playing a new clip, and that is this right here.
Rocky Top!
And I think we should follow it up with this.
To be the man, you got to beat the man. And I'm saying, woo, right here.
Absolute insanity. Ron with $101 super chat. Appreciate that, Ron. Again, Stevie gave 100. I'm giving 101. Let's go, Boogie. By God, Bentley. Appreciate that, Ron. Very, very generous super chat, my man. Blows my mind. You guys are nuts. The chat is going crazy. We need a Pat emoji. Yes. Let me make a note of that. We need a Pat McAfee emoji. I'll have to delete an emoji. Maybe I'll delete Dauber's emoji and add a Pat McAfee emoji. I'm just kidding, Dauber. Don't get upset at me. Don't get mad at me.
You got me hidden by the super chat down there.
Well, what would you rather do? Would you rather see your blurred out face or that? Like, that is beautiful. This is the way we should stream all the time with $100 super chats covering Dauber's face. I'm a fan of that. But thank you, Ryan. Very generous super chat. We appreciate it.
You should update Dauber's emoji to just like a pixel. Just like a little pixel.
That is not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. Maybe we could get that updated and rolled out for next week. X, what do you think about Keenan Peay being out? Obviously, nobody hurt this week. It's a glorified scrimmage, going to take care of business. But likely, I think Keenan Peely's probably going to miss that Florida game. Hopefully, he's going to be back for South Carolina. But what do you think about this injury and the depth at linebacker?
Yeah, it's definitely big, major breaking news. But honestly, looking at it depth-wise and as a whole, I'm not really too worried about it. And like what you just said, Boog, yeah, I am going to be concerned with when we play against Florida. But it's like what everybody was saying in the chat, like we were just talking about. I think, like I said, that you have Elijah and you have Aaron that's going to step up as your 2-1-2 punch in linebacker position. So yeah, I'm not really too worried about it, but I mean, I am gonna miss seeing him because, like I said, he's that veteran leadership, really good player. So definitely gonna miss him. But honestly, not really too worried about it. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see.
Wait! You're gonna miss seeing him. You said you weren't even gonna watch the game.
Oh God, Dauber's on the attack.
I know, right? Well, I mean, if he's out, then like I said, look, I knew before he was hurt, so I was like, oh well, I guess.
Hold on a second, Dauber. Does this make you happier? Does that make you happier?
I feel better. I feel better.
Okay.
Hey, he's still blurry though.
Yeah, you're right, X. You're way better looking than Dauber anyway. There we go. That's better. I don't know why. Like if we're not screen sharing, it rotates us up so that everybody stays on the screen. It's weird. It's weird that I don't know why it does that. I don't know why it does that. Lucas in the chat says, "Hey, what's up, Boogie? Been a while since we've seen JP and Dauber on here." Well, I mean, Dauber's been here like the last 3 weeks at this point, I think. I mean, I know he's blurry. You can't really see his face, but he's been here.
Maybe that's what it is.
Who has talked and who hasn't talked about Keenan Peay? I don't even know where we're at this point. Dauber, did you chime in on this? Everybody chimed in on.
I did.
Peay?
Yeah.
Let's kind of move into this because I think it kind of goes hand in hand with this. This is a quote from Tony Elliott. Let's see, where's the tweet? Here's the tweet. Zach, my boy Zach over at freaking A to Z Sports. The dude has every clip possible. If there's a clip about Tennessee football or the Titans, he's always got it on his Twitter. This is what Tony Elliott had to say after the game against Tennessee. Let's take a listen. And I think this, just kind of confirms me not being worried about Peay being out.
A lot of respect for Coach Heupel and Tennessee and what they've been able to do over the last couple of years. And I think the speed and the depth, right, would kind of shocked us a little bit just because it's hard to simulate that on our practice field. And I think once the shock wore off, the guys kind of settled in. I feel like it was a combination of the inches that we didn't take advantage of. There were instances where we were trying to do too much. I think that we were overzealous and guys just, wanting to will themselves to victory and not using their fundamentals. I think about the snaps, that we had. When you go back and you look at it, we're leaning too much on the football, right? Because we're trying to get off too quick. We're trying to compensate too much to try to combat what's on the other side. And they did a good job, and they were rolling them. So they had a lot of depth, and so their depth was fresh, whereas our depth. We didn't have depth to be able to roll in to combat it. So I think it was a combination of several things.
JP, you're a recruiting guy. You talk a lot about depth. You talk a lot about Jimmy's and Joe's and how we got to close the narrow that talent gap. What do you think about the depth of this football team, the speed of this football team? They look different this year, even from a year ago. A team that won 11 games, they look way better in 2023.
Definitely so. I mean, I think these last two recruiting classes that Heupel's had that it's definitely helped, and he's been able to develop players that have been down there 3 or 4 years, 5 years too. So that's been the key part of it. When Tennessee was struggling so bad going through coaches turnover and all that, it's just so hard to develop that talent and keep it going, and the staff continuity, all of that. Plays into it, but definitely much more depth on this football team, a much more athletic looking football team, and I can't even tell you what the strength guy's name is, but I think he's done a phenomenal job.
I know.
I think he has done a wonderful job with this football team, and getting these kids, or I call them kids, but these grown men now, getting them in shape, and because especially on offense, gosh, those big old linemen on offense, you just think about how in shape that they really have to be able to go as fast as they go, because you see it against those defenses. Those defenses get absolutely gassed. They get worn out, and it plays to our advantage for sure. But I think Peay is a big loss. I know that he was, he only played the one game for us, but he was a grad transfer, had a lot of experience. I think that just having him back there was going to be able to, give that team, just kind of like that papa figure, I guess, and somebody that could get them calmed down, maybe when things aren't going good and so forth like that. So certainly excited to see the younger guys get that opportunity, but I think that this coaching staff brought Peay in for a reason, and so it's going to be a challenge to find somebody to step in.
He's what, like 47 years old?
Yeah.
Between him and Joe Milton, they're about to have grandkids. So
yeah.
What do you think on those comments, Dauber, from Tony Elliott coming out of week one? The speed, the depth, how much different this football team looks. Is he locked up again?
He is. He is.
Mm.
I like how Tony Elliott was saying that it was just inches that they were away, and it was 35-3 halfway through the third quarter.
Yeah, and I like how yeah, and I like that.
That's a lot of inches there, Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. But yeah, he was really shocked, like I said, about our offensive speed and everything. And then the one thing I also want to touch on too, JP, was that because they done changed the clock rules now that, like I said, after when you get the first down, the clock doesn't stop. It keeps on rolling. So what's your thoughts about that? Because to me, that plays even to more our advantage with our fast-paced offense.
Oh yeah, it
Because
can for sure.
yeah, because you also have other teams that's not used to the speed that Tennessee is, so it's going to cause some problems there.
Yeah, certainly.
But I think you've got to go back to what you said, JP, about the strength coach, right? Because you're going fast. Like the whole thing is, you go fast, you exhaust the defense. Well, guess what? Those big uglies on our offensive line are playing every single snap, just the same way as that defensive line is. They got to be in shape. I love John Campbell, and I love his Twitter account. That dude's always grinding. He's always in the weight room. He's always putting in extra work. These guys have to be in shape, and that's something that came up. I think it was on the live stream I did today with Sports Talk J and BBD. Like it came up about that offensive line and the struggle to recruit guys on the offensive line. Although I think Glenn Ellerby has done a great job in this class of 24. If he goes out and gets Jordan Seaton, that's an A+. That is an A+ haul for Glenn Ellerby. What do you think, JP? Do you think that's been a problem with recruiting for offensive linemen, or do you think it's money?
I mean, I'm not sold on that. I think that offensive line, along with the defensive line, I mean, those are just hard positions to recruit for. There's so many of those kids that are just so much bigger than everybody else in high school, and they dominate, and then they get to college and they're just not that good, or they're fat and lazy like me, and they don't put forth the effort.
You're so fat. You're so fat.
I am. Yeah, I am. But with that, part of it probably is the money aspect of it too. With the NIL. I mean, I think that we all know that's why we lost the guy to Miami last year.
Francis Mangala.
Yeah, which I hope that he had fun playing in front of the 8,000 people that he played in front of.
Williams Winery, the Missouri.
Yeah.
That's the only reason he went there, is because of the state laws.
Yeah, I mean, who else would go to Missouri?
Brian Wingo.
Yeah, probably.
They're going to land 2 5-stars.
Because
they're going to land
NIL.
2 5-stars because of that law. Because of that law.
Yeah, that's fine. Let them go and take the money in 2 years when they're not. When their draft stock is basically zero, then that's when that they'll be looking to move on to greener pastures and go play for somebody then. So I mean, that's why this and I know it's part of it and all that, and we don't want to get off on all that, but college football's changed so much in the last five years with all this stuff. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. But like, I mean, I don't know, like some of it I get it, but it's like I gripe and complain about Williams Winery. The number 1 player in the country is going to Missouri. Like, really? Like that's where we're at in 2023. But at the same time, we spent $8 million to get Nico.
Yeah.
And I think Nico was a big part. A lot of people said, the Nico effect. Where's the Nico effect, Boogie? We're not landing any offensive recruits. I think Nico made Tennessee sexy again. Like, that was a big step towards making Tennessee the fun place to be again. The alternate uniforms. Danny White, what a home run hire Danny White was. I think Tennessee, it's cool to come to Tennessee all of a sudden again. And I think
it's
Nico's
also
a big part of that.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to discount that he's not, but it's the type of ball that they're playing though. I mean, we expect. I mean, it was 49-10, and my dad. Me and my dad are sitting there Saturday saying, well, we ought to have been in the 60s. We ought to have been in the 60s, And I'm saying,
you've never changed, JP. You're the same dude now that you were under Butch Jones, Derek Dooley, Lane Kiffin. It don't matter. Gold jacket, green jacket, JP's never happy, ever.
But, it was four years ago that we went to scored 60 points in 7 games combined, So, I mean, it's just crazy. It's just fun to watch. I mean, it honestly is. I mean, it's just
I mean,
fun to see
even
how that they scheme up so many open receivers, and I mean that running game Saturday was just on point, and we just got to find a way to get those guys to break a few open field tackles and not get tackled with their ankles. My goodness.
Well, and just coming from me, just like, what I'm saying, from the Butch Jones era, like me watching Tennessee football, like, yeah, like you said, JP, 4 or 5 years ago, like this type of offense, we just never kind of really seen it like that before. And then enter Josh
No.
Heupel, and like I said, and it's very exciting. And then for me, like I said, I've been to 2 games live, and watching it live, like in person, it's really, really exciting. I
Yeah.
mean, like you have to look back at the jumbo tron just to watch the previous play because they're already just
They're
moving on the
already up.
next play.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, but
yeah,
it's
yeah. I
very,
mean,
very
it's
exciting.
yeah. I mean, it's just fun to watch, and winning. I mean, my goodness. I mean, we talked about this over and over and over. How crazy that this fan base is, and I mean, but Heupel too, just the way that he relates to the players and the actual fans. I mean, I saw the video of the Vol walk there Saturday morning before the game, and he was walking over and like shaking hands, and smacking hands to the fans that it came out and stuff like that, and even Phil Fulmer wouldn't even do that. So I mean, it's just him. And I mean that stuff goes a long ways. Because people are like, this guy actually came over there and actually hit me on the hand. I mean, I know that just seems just so whatever, but I mean, people like that, and I mean, he just seems to be a really good football coach, a really good guy. So I mean, he's easy to pull for, and gosh darn it, I mean, so far he's been extremely impressive with his offense. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it is absolutely crazy.
It's comical because they won 49-13, and old Sambo's not happy. And it's like,
well, I mean,
I was talking about
happy, but
I was talking about the game, and I was like, think about the how many years that we watched Tennessee play against a scrub, and it's like 34-28 in the fourth quarter, and you're like, please just score one more time so that I feel like you took care of business. And it's all BS. It's all numbers games. Whereas Josh Heupel goes out and takes care of business. That's why coming up against Austin Peay, as X likes to call him, they're going to beat the brakes off of them. Like, it's never going to be a question. Josh Heupel takes care of business, and you can – I'm not even going to mention the South Carolina game. I'm going to move on.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I said, or you even play somebody like ETSU like we did there 5 or 6 years ago. And we still won like 50-0, whatever. But we had like 67 yards rushing and gave up like 3. Yeah, and gave up multiple sacks. And you're like, what the crap? I'm like, how can you play an inferior opponent like that and get dominated at the line of scrimmage?
You see this hat right here? Do you know that this hat represents 7 years of Talkin VAWLS? The first episode that you, me, and Snake ever recorded was the week of the App State game. 7 years ago. It popped up as a memory on Facebook.
It should have been a loss.
Crazy. Yeah, it should have been. And it's like you said, the ETSU game. I'll never forget talking about that ETSU game, and you're coming on saying, we got dominated on the line of scrimmage. I'm like, no, everything's fine. There's nothing to see here. Like the house is burning down around you, and I'm trying to say, nope. Everything's fine. We finally have a ball coach that is changing things. Like Josh Heupel is different. We got almost 300 people watching live. Appreciate you guys choosing us, hanging out with us on this Wednesday night. We're live every single Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time, right here on the Talkin VAWLS Network. Help us out. Smash the thumbs up below the video. It's quick, free, and easy. It does help this channel. We are also going to be live Friday morning, 10 a.m. Coach Jay is going to be in the house. We're going to take one last look at this Austin Peay game, what Coach Jay is looking for coming up on Saturday. And then we're going to do a tailgate show an hour before kickoff on Saturday. We will also be live immediately following the game. I also got to show you guys this. I wasn't even going to do this now, but now I got to do some plugs and shills. Check out the new merch at bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. Every time we drop a new shirt, I say it is my favorite shirt. How clean is that? If you grew up if you were born in the 80s and you grew up watching Tennessee football, those letters on the side of the stadium meant something. Like, it is nostalgia. It makes me think of Neyland. Danny White brings them back. We're bringing them to you on the VAWLS shirt, Talkin VAWLS. Go check it out, bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. Also, I tried to tell you guys that we're a family around here. The Talkin VAWLS Network is a family, and you guys said, nope, Boogie, we're not a family. We are a cult. So you can pick up your cult member t-shirt. Also, bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. Be a member of the cult Talkin VAWLS Network, represented on that. You guys want to talk some trash? We got a FUGA shirt. We got a Gator Hater shirt. We got a shirt that says Buck Fama. If that offends you, we've also got Beat Bama, Beat Georgia, Beat Florida. You can go with one of those. If you want to be political, you want to let people know what side of the aisle you stand on, you can go pick up a Boogie Dauber 2024 political election presidential shirt. But we got all the old favorites. Go check out the merch. The links are in the description below. We appreciate you guys picking those up. If you grab a shirt, you wear it, you rep it, whether it's at a game or, I don't know, if you go to wherever. Tag me up on Twitter at Boogie Bentley. Would love to see you guys repping that merch. But new shirts just dropped this week. Dauber, what do you think about those VAWLS shirts?
Oh, man, I think that's old Kevin knocked another one out of the park there.
Does he ever not? Like, I say it all the time. That's my favorite shirt. That's my favorite shirt. That's my favorite shirt. This may be my favorite shirt. I love the way the letters are represented in that shirt.
Yeah, they're clean. I like them.
I like the cult member shirts too. Let me catch up on Super Chat. Skitty VFL for 5. Trivia question. With a win on Saturday, Heupel will be the 6th UT coach to have 20 wins in his first 28 games. Can you name the other 5? I'm going to imagine Neyland is one of them. Fulmer's probably one of them. Battle's probably. Is Battle one of them maybe? What do you guys think? I have no idea. I suck at trivia.
Yeah, I was going to be right there with you, Fulmer.
Nobody knows the answer.
I guess we're all Googling it. Just like, yeah, Dauber and JP are Googling it.
It definitely looks like JP's Googling. Or he's trying to order his food.
No, I'm actually replying back to Donovan. He asked me a question.
So nobody knows. We don't know. Skinny VFL, please give us the answer in the chat. We would appreciate it. Rocky Top Rules for 5. Sorry, late to the show. Had a B-Day dinner for my wife. Can't wait till Saturday. Vols by 70. Man, Rocky Top Rules is taking over. Here's another $5 super chat. Sucks about Peay, but hopefully he will be back for South Carolina. But it's time. Elijah Herring and Arian Carter to show out. Appreciate that. Another 5. Heupel changed this culture first before anything. That's why we got to where we are so quick. Ships coming soon. What do you think, X? Do you think Heupel is going to win an SEC championship, national championship? We going to see another national championship before I'm dead and gone?
Absolutely. I believe it. Because, like I said, but you, like I said, you was spoiled, man. You was spoiled.
We were. Not me. Yeah. All 3 of us. All
That's
3 of us old dudes. I know you're young and clean and fresh.
That's what I'm saying. Look, I've never, like I said, look, we talked about it before on the show. Going last season, breaking that 15 losing streak with Alabama. Dude, I will never forget where I was at when I watched that game. And I got emotional because I was like, this is my first time I've seen us in that streak. And then that's why I'm telling, like telling JP earlier, listen, we're going down to the swamp come Florida week. We're going to break that streak. I promise you, because we do have a coach that's going to lead us that way. So to answer your question, Boog, yes, I believe that Josh Heupel is going to at least get us to an SEC championship or win us an SEC championship. And then eventually later on win a national championship. Because even, him and the team said it, this prior season. They said that, look, if we want to get to the Nationals, we have to win the East. And I think that's this whole team's mindset right now is that, yeah, if you expect us to win national championships, you got to get through Georgia, you got to get through Alabama, you got to win the East before you're able to win a national championship. And I think Josh Heupel is going to get us there. It's going to take some time, but I believe he's going to get us there.
Dauber, what do you think? Natty? We got a Natty in the future? You're as spoiled as I am.
I don't think he'll win the East because there's not going to be an East come next year.
That's true, too.
That's true. I'm sure I forgot about
Is the SEC championship game going to go away? Like, why would you play an SEC championship when you're taking a 12-team playoff or whatever it is, 12, 16, whatever it is? Like, what's the point of
Yeah.
the SEC championship or
Yeah,
conference championship period.
I mean, money. I mean, that's the only point in it right now at this point in time.
But good gosh, look how many playoff games you're adding, right?
I know.
You're going to make the money on the playoffs. A conference championship means nothing. If you're going to take 12 or 16 teams, Dauber, who cares about a conference championship? It's pointless.
Well, it's you'd almost prefer to be that third-ranked team in the conference, so you get another week's rest.
Or do we get a team that just says, "Screw it, I don't care. I'm going to sit out. I'm not going to play in the SEC championship because I want to stay healthy and get ready for the playoffs."
The flack you get from that, though.
I got called every name in the book. Like, you might as well call me Hitler because I questioned Jalen Hyatt for sitting out of the bowl game. Like,
well, and it draws. It's the narrative too. Like, does bowl games matter? I mean, like this year they do, but going into next year, do they really matter? Not really.
You've had guys
this year. Yeah,
you've had guys sitting out of playoff games now.
Yeah.
So it's, I think that whole thing needs to be addressed. I think these guys, when they accept a scholarship, they make a commitment to the school, and I think they need to complete that commitment, or forfeit their scholarship and have to reimburse the cost of their education.
I was waiting on somebody else to talk, but I'll hit some super chats. James Lawson for 5. We have pride now that I live in Middle Tennessee, but born and raised in Rogersville, Tennessee. Been through a lot. Here, y'all know what I mean. GBO. Appreciate that, James. Thank you for the super chat, brother. Robble. No.
Robble.
Who was it? Oh, man. Bulls Gap. Jerry. Jerry from Bulls Gap. Do you know that he has been following me on Twitter, JP? Jerry from Bulls Gap. You remember that on the post-game shows?
On Vol calls.
Yes. Yeah. Post-game. Jerry from Bulls Gap followed me on Twitter. That's hilarious. Ron for 4. Appreciate the super chat. Just wanted to make it an even 125, Boogie. Well, why not make it 225, Ron? I'm going to call you out. Why not make it an even 225? A good, clean 325. I mean, the sky's the limit. Ron, you don't have to do anything. You've been very generous tonight, brother. I appreciate it. JT Maxwell for 5. JP talking about how it has changed. Beasley instead of Al Wilson size, like Sampson, not Jamal Lewis side. All speed, Saban's out, Heupel's in. New era.
I mean, it's definitely a offensive game now. Now, I mean, I'm not saying that it's totally offense, because you look at what Georgia's been able to do the last couple of years, especially that first year. It was a lot of defense. But yeah, I mean, college football in general's changed. I mean, go watch a high school game on Friday night and seeing them throw it all over the field and stuff like that. So
even when they don't have a quarterback,
hey,
don't say the school's name. Snake, don't at me, bro. Actually, Tony, if you're listening, I didn't mean it. Oh my God, Tony listens.
I was gonna say, man,
Tony, he's a great quarterback. I hope Tony's gonna hit me up Friday at the game and be like, "Boogie, I heard what you said about my nephew." Oh God, I just messed up. Hey, he played really good last Friday. I'll say he played. Like, I'm not saying names or schools. He played really good last Friday, and I felt like they changed the game plan, and that's when we let our old rival come back, and it pissed me off. Because I felt like that's the best he's looked in his entire time starting as our high school quarterback. Nobody in the chat. The only person that knows what I'm talking about is JP right now, probably. Maybe Dauber.
I was there. Yeah,
you're disgusting, school. Yeah, I came home from that game, and I told my daughter, all right, okay, here's the deal. My high school, Dauber's high school, Dauber went to high school with my wife, and they were our rivals. And so we came home from the game.
Your school doesn't exist anymore.
But yeah, we take pride in the new school. And I told my daughter, I said, now do you understand why we hate them? And she said, yes, they play that stupid song all the time. They're so annoying. And I said, yes, we hate everybody that went to that school. And my wife's like, oh, we do? And I said, yes, we do. Yes, we do. Nobody knows what we're talking about. Tony, if you're in the chat, I'm sorry. He looked good. He did look good Friday. JP, did you go to the game Friday?
I did. Yeah, I did.
Did you think he looked good?
Yeah.
Like early?
Yeah,
like
I mean,
athleticism,
first
made
quarter,
some good plays.
Yeah, first quarter. I mean, actually hit Dobbins Bennett right in the mouth. I mean, 14-0, and it was like,
Sweet
holy
Moses.
smokes! And then it was just like, boom. Then they started blitzing and getting pressure on us. And
Talking about being doxxed right out of the gate.
All I'm going to just say is I said, go Hilltoppers, baby.
God bless America. JP just doxed me to everybody. I've tried to. All right, let's move on. Skinny VFL.
We talked about this before.
Shut up. It's a different age, JP. We got 22,000 subscribers, bro.
Well,
Skinny VFL member for 1 month. Appreciate that, brother. Fulmer, Neyland, and Battle are check marks. Adam Cook guessed Bowden Wyatt correctly. Fifth was John Barnhill, who coached Neyland's second break, 1941 through 1945. So there is the answer to the trivia question. Appreciate that, Skitty VFL. Jeff Puckett for 10 says Neyland, Battle, Wyatt, Dickey, and Fulmer is the answer. Thank you, Jeff, for the super chat. We appreciate that, brother. All right, we are caught up on super chats. Let's talk about Saturday. I mentioned watching the press conference. We're not going to do that. We'll just talk about this game coming up on Saturday against Austin. Who is it, X?
Oh, Austin Peay.
Austin Peay. Austin Peay. We're going to talk about Austin Peay. What do you guys want to see coming up? Look, again, I talked about it at the top of the show. There's no Vegas odds. There's no spread. There's no over under. Dauber, it's going to be a blowout. It's a glorified scrimmage. So what do you want to see on Saturday? What we can do predictions, but what do you want to see on Saturday?
Coming out of the Virginia game, there are a few things that you hope they'll work on and clean up. I definitely think you're backtracking in the opponent. It is going to be a game where I would like to see most of your starters out by halftime, or at least not coming back out after the half. There were a couple penalties that stalled drives. The one sack on offense. To me, the big issue that I saw Saturday was special teams. I think you got to clean that up. The kickoffs out of bounds, the punts. We had a few of those that the net yardage on the punts were 16. I think was one of them.
Yeah.
And then you had D. Williams drop one, which I think he more than made up for it with his average return yards. Getting up around, I think 35 is what he averaged on returns. But just protecting the football, getting lined up right. We talked about it with Coach Jay there before the game. That's what you want to see is lining up right, executing, and just going out and playing clean football. And you don't want to see any injuries. I know it is a lesser opponent, but it's still a contact game, and you can have non-contact injuries. So every time they strap it up and get out there, it's there is the chance that somebody does get hurt. And, we were talking about Peay earlier. I never saw him go out of the game. I didn't see him get dinged up.
Everybody said that. Everybody has said that.
So I kind of wanted to go back and see if I saw anything, but I didn't get a chance this afternoon. But yeah, that's it is going to be take them out to the woodshed type game, and you hope some of the young guys get in and get some extended playing time.
Go ahead and give me your score prediction. We'll just go ahead and wrap it up now with score predictions and everybody's thoughts.
I'm not big on hitting big numbers, but I think, man, I think they're probably going to get 72. I'm going to say 72-6.
You're all over my score. You're freaking Bob Barkering me again. Again. It's so stupid. I'm going to have to change my prediction. Parker Townsend for 5. Appreciate the super chat. Just got here. Hate Peay got injured so much. This was his contract year. He was playing like a demon out there. PFF ranked him as second on defense. Hopefully he comes back, man. I hope he's back for South Carolina, right? That Florida game's huge. That's important, but hopefully he's back for South Carolina. And the back half of the schedule is way more difficult than the front half. So hopefully he will be back for that. Parker drops another 2. Y'all know Brew going to destroy a small corner I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
I hope he exposes those. I'm not going to say it. I was going to make some stupid, rude, crude comment, but I won't do it. X, what do you got? What do you want to see on Saturday, and then give us your score prediction?
Just what I want to see on Saturday is like Dalbert touched upon it, and I said at the beginning of the show. Special teams, man. Special team has really got to clean up their mistakes, because you can't have that going down into the swamp. Then really, I just want to see a clean, not too vanilla accent of a game, but also too you don't want to show your full hand by trying to get ready for the swamp. Just play clean, have fun, and as far as the score predictions go. Man, I'm gonna just say, like I said, I'm gonna say like 65 to like 7. I mean, this is gonna be just a brutal showing. It's like what I said earlier at the beginning of the show. Might watch the game, might not. But of course,
You're
I'm going
gonna
to
watch
watch
the
it.
game.
I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch.
You gotta watch the game, X Factor. You gotta watch the game.
I'm
Lord
going to
have
watch
mercy.
the game, but no, it's going to be a beatdown. So.
Captain Woodland for 2 says Elizabethan embarrassed Science Hill. I didn't see that. I did not see that score. Thank you for the super chat, brother. I'll go next, and we'll let JP wrap the thing up. It's funny because everybody's talking about cleaning up special teams and Ross punting. I hope he doesn't punt a single time. Like I don't know that we're going to see him punt at all. Maybe we'll see D. Williams house some punt returns. I think Tennessee dominates. I want to see some deep shots. I don't think they'll do a whole lot of it. I think it's going to be very vanilla once again. I think it's going to be a whole lot of running the football down their throat. Are we going to run for 400 yards, 500 yards? Like what's the ceiling? Like they ran for 300 yards against Virginia. I think they're just going to run it down their throat. I just want to see the young guys, man. I want to see Nico early. Third quarter, start of the second half, get Nico out there, get these young guys out there. But I would also like to see Nico with the ones, because you're one play away from Joe Milton going down. I want to see Nico with the ones. I want to see Nico be ready to take over this offense. But I was going to say 73-6. I know I'm right there somewhere around where Dauber's at. Are you right? You're writing them down again, aren't you?
72-6 is what I said.
Yeah, 73-6 is where I was at. And I'm like, this SOB. Like last week you nailed it. You were spot on, but you were right where I was at too. But you just undercut me, and you win.
Nailed it. I went last first. Week, Dauber.
Yeah. I know you did. I know,
right,
but I'm not changing my score when I hear yours. And it's like, God bless America. He's right where I'm at. So yeah, there's my score. It's officially in. Scott Chapman for 6 says Peay is having his third nipple finally removed. It chafes under the front pads. 2 weeks tops. What has happened to the chat? What in the hell has happened to this channel? It has completely gone off the rails. It feels like an NCAA stream. I streamed for almost 5 hours last night. It gets ugly when you get to late night talking balls. Rocky Top rules for 5. I know Josh Heupel has already written it off, but I would love to see D. Williams get the ball in his hands once or twice a game on offense. Yeah, we talked about that, man. It's like Evan Berry. He was so dynamic returning kickoffs. Why could you not find a way to get him involved on offense? Parker Townsend for 5, just so you know and can look. AP said timeline looks more like it could be Georgia getting Peay back. It's so hard to tell because it's kind of like Cooper Mays, right? They said he was doing some stuff, doing a little bit of work today, but don't know that he's going to be back. Everything's a mystery under Josh Heupel. But JP, the floor is yours. What is your prediction? What are you looking for on Saturday?
Well, First of all is let's get out of this game without any significant injuries. Last year, the Akron game is when we lost. Help me out. My mind's went blank.
Cedric Tillman.
Yes, Tillman. Yeah. We lost him. So, just to try to avoid those, but take care of business like Heupel has shown that he's been able to do against these inferior teams. Get lots and lots of playing times for these young guys. And, of course, we want to see Nico for sure. We want to see him out there. I was super impressed with him on those couple of drives that he was in there Saturday. I loved how he stepped up in the pocket there, filling that rush. So strongly encouraged there. We want to see that. I'm like Donovan said earlier, I think D. Williams takes one to the house. I think that Heupel will want to get Jackson Ross a punt or two in, so I'd say that he's going to run it up the gut a couple of times, even if it's late. just so that he can get him out there. So I think that's going to happen. I think this is going to be one of those games, even though the X Factor says he may not watch it. I kind of like these games because I can sit there and watch them, and I'm not, all worked up over it and so forth like that. Shouldn't be anyway. But Vols roll. They take care of business. I'm gonna go 59-7. Go Big Orange.
Can you really watch a game and not be worked up?
No, he can't. He can't.
Yeah, a lot of times.
I'll say you're not having Georgia State flashbacks, are you?
Yes, he is.
If I have Georgia State flashback Saturday night about 8:30, yeah, it's gonna be bad.
He'll be ready to fire somebody. First drive of the game, guaranteed. Ready to, him and Sambo texting each other. Well, you got to get rid of Halsley. I agree. He sucks. Horrible play call, even though Heupel called it. Screw Joey Halsley. I've been around JP too long to know that
Please,
that is
and then
not the truth.
And if we're talking about on defense, please don't start this. Fire Tim Banks is like, no, because that's what we heard all last season.
Yeah,
Fire
look at
Tim
him bouncing
Banks.
back, right? This defense is getting better. Yeah, the jury's still out on Tim Banks, and I'm starting to like what he is doing with this defense. But anyway, that is going to wrap it up. Appreciate you guys tuning in on this Wednesday night. I may drop a video tomorrow, probably be a little bit later in the day. Go back, check out Locked On Vols coming your way bright and early at midnight. Kaner drops the videos at midnight for whatever reason. I don't guess he cares about YouTube analytics, but go check it out. Fun conversation with him coming your way tomorrow. Myself, Coach Jay, will be in the house Friday morning, 10 a.m. We're doing a tailgate show Saturday, an hour before kick. Post-game show immediately following the game. Sunday morning, the day after video. Sunday night fan call-in show. So much content coming your way. Make sure you guys support this channel. Hit the join button down below, whether you give $1 or $35 a month. We appreciate you guys. You guys keep the lights on around here. Jeff Puckett dropping a $20 super chat. Says, even though some of y'all went to South and I went to North, just wanted to thank you for the channel. Y'all just want to put my address out there? Y'all come hang out on my front porch.
I had no idea that. I didn't say anybody went South.
I didn't go to South. Did you?
Nope.
Dauber, did you?
Nope.
I think Dauber went to South. I went to DB. I don't know what y'all are talking about. Thank you, Jeff, for the $20. Thank you, JP, for doxing me. Everybody's going to be at my front door later tonight. I'm going to get a lecture from my wife. Wow. Look at the Lord have mercy, JP. Sweet Moses. Good Lord. I got nothing else to say. He's the X Factor. He's the blurry-faced Dauber. He's JP the Doxer. My name is Boogie Bentley. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. Go Big Orange.